It's time for some Sound Euphonium Season 3, Episode 8. I'm excited. I mean, last episode, we had Mayu. I mean, we're still focusing a little bit on Mayu, learning a bit more about her, but we're in this weird, tense space where I can't quite read Mayu. I can't tell if something is going to completely collapse around us, or if she's actually just gonna consistently be, you know, the distant, I guess. Like, it's weird. It's weird describing her as distant because she does spend time with people. She does speak to people. She takes photos of people. You know, she has conversations. She's part of the band. She practices. She arrives on time or early, right? So it's weird to describe her as distant, but when you see her talk, you get that feeling of distance because it's almost like an emotional distance. You feel like she's keeping people away still. So I'm wondering if, you know, I mean, I think every episode I'm wondering if this is an episode where everything is going to explode, or if, you know, if that maybe never comes, or if it's not yet. I don't know. That's kind of the beauty of it, is that, like, this whole oncoming tension, but really this show could do anything with it that it wanted. Some shows, it's like, okay, I know this is going to go wrong. I know this is going to explode. I know these characters are going to do this certain thing at this point in the story. But this show, I don't know that. Although I will say, like, this show so far seems to have, you know, had it all. They hit, you know, the characters that this sort of stuff happens, we hit a dramatic moment with them. But I don't feel like the show's built up enough of a formula for me to think that's going to be the case forever. Because it also, every once in a while, you think that's going to happen, and then it doesn't. So I think they've done a good job where it's a coin flip. We really don't know. So let's find out. Let's watch the episode. This is Season 3, Episode 8. Make sure to support the video and the channel if you can. I am a small channel, so every little bit helps me out a lot. Liking the video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel, and I have a Patreon account if you want to support me even more and get the full-length reactions. That's on my Patreon account in the description below. It's got all that content for both this channel and my Gent Watches One Piece channel, so go check that out as well. But let's jump into this. This is Sound Euphonium Season 3, Episode 8.
今になって身に染みる。
忍耐。面倒だからって二文字はやめてあげて。部費徴収。
That's so funny.
熟語もやめてくれ。
オーディションは1日目の夜に行うんですよね。
そうです。
I'm excited and
発
nervous.
表は2日目の朝の予定です。
Seems like she's nervous. Probably not for herself necessarily, but for everyone. Melancholy ostinato.
いつもの合奏体系に並べてください。はい。久美子ちゃん。
She's smiling. That's good.
あんまり話したことない人だと緊張する
Aww.
から。
That makes sense.
非日常って感じ
This is sweet.
目が回る忙しさだけどね。
She's talkative right now. That's good.
手伝えることがあったら何でも
Aww.
言ってね。
And helpful.
ありがとう。じゃあまた後でね。
Okay, she seems like she's in good spirits right
それ
now.
は素直に喜べばいい。自分にそう言い聞かせながら、私は心の引っかかりを無視しよう。
Oh god, that's a scary thing to narrate,
で
Kumiko.
は改めて紹介します。
Yep, hello man.
以前伝えた通り、関西大会のオーディションは今晩行います。
Oh, I'm excited.
気を引き締めて頑張ってください。
Kumiko's gonna lose her spot. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying it.
胸がもう明日すぐ出るしね。ドキドキ。夜寝れないかもです。
Her saying Doki Doki and having Kasumi from Bang Dream's
5人
hairstyle.
もいるんだよ。
じいちゃん低音しっかりしてるの好きだし。
なんだ。いえ別に。高坂先輩ですね。
Yeah, undoubtedly.
ソリのところだね。
It's amazing how you can always just tell it's her. She has such a smooth sound. Oh, and Kumiko is sort of automatically doing the... Oh.
久美子、それじゃあ最初から合わせてみようか。
I think Mayu sees that Kumiko wants it.
そこ見せ場だよ。恥ずかしがらず私を見てでいいんだよ。
Demand to be seen.
もう一度
もう一度
もう一度やめて緑カレー大好き
After practicing so much, eating must be
ご一緒して
amazing.
もさすがクロエ先輩抜け目がないまたそういうそうです久美子先輩もうすうす感じている
You're
ところ
always
があ
like
ると
picking people
お見受けし
apart,
ますけど
Kanade.
うかつに心を許すとちくまゆちゃんはそんな子かなでちゃん今取ってくるね
Aww, she's so
クロエ
sweet.
先輩に誰にでもあんな感じだから私は好きだよかな
Yeah,
でちゃん
Mayu can take it.
裏表がなくて
Yes.
あれを裏表もうすぐオーディションだね
Uh-huh.
久美子ちゃん
Uh-oh.
久美子ちゃんソリ吹きたい
I mean, of course she does. Yeah.
だよね
And Mayu doesn't want to take that away from you, I think.
食事の後時間あるあるけど
I want to
練
practice.
習付き合ってくれない
Yeah.
ソリのところ確認しておきたいのああ
Bad time to ask that,
じゃあ
Reina.
また後で
Oh, I feel like this episode's where it's falling apart.
滝先生の求める音をすぐに理解して
She's a people pleaser.
私は全国も久美子と吹くつも
Of
りだから
course. You gonna talk about it? Talk about it, Mayu.
久美子ちゃん
Oh, that
やっ
animation
ぱ
was so
り
good
辞
of her.
退しようか
No!
オーディション高坂さんも奏ちゃんたちもみんなそれがいいって思ってるだからってまゆちゃんが辞退したら北氏のためにならない
I think Mayu might think that Kumiko might start to resent her
そうかな
if she gets it.
一番うまい子が吹くそれが北氏だよ
I don't think that's breaking through to Mayu right now.
それは立てないでしょ
Uh-huh.
それって辞退しなかったらまゆちゃんが選ばれないってこと
I think that's a fair thing to say,
ごめん
Kumiko. Kumiko wants to know she
私が
earned
入
the
学した
part.
時はみんなで変えてきたから今の北氏があると思う
Yeah, we have to prove that it's
それは全員分かってる
changed.
本当に
Come on, Mayu, try your hardest, please.
分かった
Good.
ごめんね
I think Mayu is legitimately just very sweet. Maybe not completely satisfied yet.
大変大変何緑が元ムくんに呼び出されたんだって
Oh shit.
それってそういうことだよねとにかく行ってみますもう
She kind of hopes it is.
ごめんねわあ先輩もギリギリですよお風呂に時間かかっちゃってこうして予定通りオーディションは進み
I think maybe Kumiko loses the part. I don't
ユーフォ
know.
ニアム3年ユーフォニアム3年クロエマユです
I feel like she loses it fair and square.
マユちゃんは辞退することなく吹き切っ
Oh, I'm so interested.
いや滝先生から
たそれを先に言いなさい
Now it's important.
塚本に言われたくないんだけど同感まだ飲んでないの
She's savoring it.
後で大事に飲むトルコいる
Oh. Was it not what she thought? Is she sad?
消灯後は
He doesn't look super happy either. Oh?
元ムくんになんて言われたの教えない
But... but I want to know.
そっか
I mean, that's your
で
choice.
も明日から川島さんよかったらこれあげる
Oh,
いいんですか
that's really
最
sweet,
近思うよ
Reina.
うになった
Like, that
知
matters
ら
so
ない
much
方
to
がいい
you.
こともあるんだって
Yeah. That was really sweet, Reina. She gave away her special can.
最後なんだ合宿
Yeah, that's a sad realization. especially if you're not planning to go into music. I love it mixing with the sounds of nature. It adds so much to it.
いつの間にそんなに仲良くなったの？朝個人練しようと思ったらスズメちゃんがいて、さつき先輩には負けれませんから。
Aw, they got a healthy competition going on. Yeah, I'm glad about that.
まあ心配と言いますか。久美子先輩は放っておくとすぐ
That's true.
行きたがるので。いやいや、コンクールで。本心で言ってます。
I think she does.
いえ、愚問でした。クロエ先輩には。
My read of Mayu is that she genuinely does want to play with everyone.
で苦労することもあるかもしれませんが、これが最良だったと思えるようにしたいと考えています。
Okay.
トランペットから、3年、高坂玲奈さん。
Of course. I had no doubt about
小
it.
日向ゆめさん。
名前を自らの口で発表するの
塚
は。
本修一。続いて、ユーフォニアム。3年、大前久美子さん。
Kumiko, yes.
黒江真由さん。
Mayu got
以上2名です。
no kanade.
続いて中学。
Oh,
さ
はい。
I'm sorry,
鈴木
kanade.
美玲さん、鈴木さつきさん、
はい。
Satsuki, okay.
鎌谷すずめさん、以上4名です。
Oh, kanade.
では続いて自由曲、クラリネット3年、マリンバ3年、鎌
Oh
谷つばめさ
god,
ん
it's gonna be Mayu. It's gonna be
トランペ
Mayu.
ット3年、黒江真由さん。
It is Mayu.
はい。
And she's not happy about it, of course. Oh. And Rain is disappointed.
そして
The next piece begins.
次の曲が始まるのです。
Oh. Woo. What an episode. I just felt it coming the whole episode, and I was so tense, and it's very devastating. I mean, the way, like, what sucks is, like, in this situation, nobody's happy. Like, Mayu doesn't want the part. Kumiko wants the part. Reina wants Kumiko to get the part. Other people want Kumiko to get the part. But if Mayu had not tried her hardest and Mayu had not tried to get the part, then Kumiko wouldn't have been happy, you know, because like that's not how she wants to do things. So like the only way this could have been a happy ending is if Mayu tried her hardest but was worse than Kumiko. But you know, that's the thing. There's no bad people in this situation. They actually did a great job at communicating a lot about it in this episode, which I really appreciate. Like the problems, quote unquote problems, the drama in this episode was not caused at all by lack of communication. There's none of that here. Like the characters were all communicating their feelings with each other. At least most of them. Maybe there was some underlying between the lines things that were left unsaid, but for the most part, I think they did a great job at communicating their feelings. And you know, the thing is, like, now Kumiko's got to like really, you know, I think it's Kumiko's job at this point, and this is a tough job, to show no cracks and to continue to be amazing towards Mayu and support her, because Mayu has made it very clear that she didn't want this to happen. And so it's like so not her fault. It's so far from her fault that you need to make sure to continue to, you know, keep her in line, and also make sure other people aren't shit talking this, you know, make sure other people aren't being like, oh, Kumiko, I wish you got the solo, because I can totally imagine people doing that. Not people saying to Mayu like, I wish you didn't get it. I don't think anyone would do that, but I can totally see people saying to Kumiko, I wish you got the solo, or like, oh, I was really rooting for you or something, which will not help Mayu. And I think Kumiko, as president and as the person who really pushed Mayu to do this, it's her responsibility to if people do that, to shut it down, you know. But man, it's it's very upsetting. It's very sad, but I think this is gonna be super interesting. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Cause I love Mayu. I think she's such an interesting character, and she does seem genuinely sweet. My read of her currently in this situation is she likes everyone. She likes to play. She's good at playing. You know, I think Reina said like something like I wouldn't say she's good, but she has good instincts. But I also think Reina's in love with Kumiko's. Well, I could just stop there. Reina's in love with Kumiko, but Reina's in love with Kumiko's playing. Like she has a fondness for the way Kumiko does things. So I don't think, like, you know, obviously when they were talking about if Mayu is good or not, the subtext there was, is Mayu better than you, Kumiko? And of course Reina isn't going to think that. I think it's possible Mayu is better than Kumiko, which is fine. You know, I think, you know, maybe they're on the same level, but because of everything that's happening and everything, like, I feel like Mayu is in a better headspace for the performance right now. And so she's been playing better a little bit lately. Maybe Kumiko's been getting kind of complacent, but I don't think she has been, because, like, we even saw, like, she was getting antsy and she was like, okay, I'll practice one more time and stuff. So I think she's working hard. I don't think she's getting complacent necessarily. But I don't know. I think from her reaction when she didn't get the solo, I think she genuinely did believe herself to be good enough and better than Mayu. She did believe that she'd get the solo, you know? Even after all of this, she thought, like, I'm continuing to practice, I'm continuing to work hard, so I will get it. I loved the conversation they had, Mayu and Kumiko. I mean, they had a lot in this episode, but the one they had, like, in the bathroom, where Mayu was saying all of that and saying, like, oh, but should I just forfeit because, you know, I don't want to get the solo or whatever. And Kumiko, I think deservedly, standing up and sort of snapping at her a little bit and saying, like, are you saying that if you tried, you'd get it? Which, I mean, now we know in hindsight, she would. She did. She got it. But it's an unfair thing to constantly be saying to Kumiko, because every time she brings it up, I don't think she means to do this, but every time she brings it up, she is sort of subtly saying to Kumiko, like, I'm good enough that I could beat you, you know? But I think Mayu's intention is, like, there's a chance I'll beat you. There's a chance, and I don't want to have to deal with what happens when that happens. But I also want to just say in this episode, I mean, in every episode, something that Sound Euphonium and Kyoani is very good at is they animate the shit out of it. But the reason the animation is so great is because they focus their animation on, like, little character movements, making the characters feel so real. You know, like, if you think of shows with great animation, like, a lot of people do think of kyoani, but they don't think of it for the same reason they think of stuff like, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen or One Punch Man Season 1, you know? Like, these shows with these, like, incredible animation sequences where they, like, really go all out in a fight scene or whatever. What kyoani tends to do is their characters, you know, they're in, like, a sort of cutesy-ish art style. I mean, Sound Euphonium is, like, the most realistic looking one, I feel like. And I say realistic looking, I guess, like, they just look, I mean, I think it's mostly the lighting, honestly, that really sells the show. The lighting looks so real. But anyway, what they're really good at is little character animations, like little things that make every character feel so real. When they're in the background, when they're in the foreground, when they're, like, all together, when they're interacting with each other, it feels like you're watching a really well acted live action, or you're just watching actual footage of someone, just because the characters' movements, you know, feel like they interact with the world perfectly. reason I was saying this is what they tend to use, and they're very famous for it. And it's, it's kind of used as a joke, but it also is something that is a big part of their animation style, is they animate legs as like very character driven. They show characters' legs a lot. And I think that's not just like, oh, we like legs, we want to show legs. I think there's a lot of story you can tell with legs. And also it means that like you can be showing what a character is feeling with just a body part that isn't their face, like to show emotion without showing their face is a difficult thing, but it's really effective when done correctly. So a lot of the time they'll show like someone's foot tapping or their feet like banging against each other when they're like anxious about something or thinking about something, they'll show it like swinging back and forth if they're like more playful or if they're in kind of a good mood, like stuff like that, which really tells a lot about a character. But in this episode, I noticed several of those shots, but like with movements in their hands. And then I was thinking about it more throughout the episode, and I was like, wow, I mean, their hand animation is so good. There was one part in that bath scene where Mayu was thinking to herself, and she was trying to like, you could tell she was like psyching herself up to have this conversation with Kumiko. And I urge you to go back to the scene and just like watch this one bit where like she's just sitting there, and then she has her hand, she like puts down her towels or whatever, she's resting her hand on the desk, and then she just like slides it off like shh. And there was something about the sliding off that I was like, that's what people do, like that's what real people do. Like there's something about it. It's a movement that I never would have thought to animate in a scene like that, but it just perfectly tells. And I mean, I think the sound design on it was really good as well. It perfectly tells the sort of mind state she was in, like that when someone does that sort of sliding hand off, it's because they're like, their mind is almost too occupied to like lift their hand off, so they're just slide it across, or maybe they want to feel sensation for a little bit longer while they're still thinking or something, I don't know exactly why we do that, but like regardless, sliding your hand along the table and off of it like that just felt so real, and I wanted to gush about it for 15 minutes when it happened, but then a really important scene was happening, so I couldn't. But yeah, I mean, I really loved that. And Kanade, man, because I love Kanade. She's one of my favorite characters in this show, right? And I'm so upset she didn't get it. That's like incredibly sad that she did not get the part. But man, like she seemed really surprised and upset by it. So I'm kind of scared like what that's gonna mean for her. Is she gonna be really raw the next few episodes? Excuse me. The next few episodes? I don't know. But I also liked, like early in the episode, Kumiko like apologized for Kanade, which I feel like she has to do a lot, because Kanade's, as I said, she's a little shit. I love her, but she's a little shit. But like I liked that, she made some little snide comment with her smile like she normally does, and then Kumiko's like, don't worry about her, and Mayu's like, I like Kanade. She's just brutally honest. And I really like that, because she already has like a good read on who Kanade is and doesn't take it like too seriously, and knows like she's being honest about her feelings, but there's something about that that's very honorable, because she's generally not trying to be mean, I don't think. She's just poking fun at people, but I think genuinely she's trying to make people be better, and she's trying to like let people better themselves but not make them feel too shit about it. That's maybe I'm being too optimistic about her, but that's my reading of her. Is she's prodding at people in those sore spots, but so that people know that those spots are sore, and so that they can fix it right up. Because I think she also doesn't like when things are left completely unsaid. She doesn't like there being like a tension in the air and no one's talking about it. So she just is the one to broach many difficult subjects, because she wants shit to get going, She wants to crank that wheel. And I like it. I like it. Anyway, that's Sound Euphonium, season 3, episode 8. I can't wait for next week, but I also think taking the week to just relax is good because I'm going to be tense. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, as well as early access for certain shows, exclusive videos for both this channel and my Gent Watches One Piece channel. But yeah, make sure to leave your comments down below. I will see you next time. Goodbye.